everybody. So lovely to see everyone's faces. I don't think it's any secret that Evolve is my most favorite region, so I'm super excited to sit down and train you guys. We are going to be talking about Workday today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sarah. I'm one of the recruiting supervisors that we have here on the team. I oversee all things sales when it comes to the recruiting realm. We have some lovely folks here from HR and benefits. We are going to be covering all essential things you need to know for the transition into Workday. We have quite a lot of information that we're going to cover. So I am going to ask that for any questions that come up, please throw them into the chat. It's going to be a lot easier for us to manage both our time and make sure that all the questions get answered. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to get my screen sharing. Okay, beautiful. Can everybody see my homepage? Is it
No,
there yet? Okay, awesome. Welcome to Workday. This is going to be what your homepage looks like. Something I need you guys to be aware of is that Workday is going to be passing through the Okta tile. So you guys may already have the Workday tile on your Okta dashboards, whatever the case may be. This is going to be really important for you guys to know though, because since this is going to be more than just the ATS, it's not just replacing JobBite, it's replacing Paycom as well. For any of your reps or team leads that may not really necessarily work with Okta super often, please make sure they're getting that set up on their phones, Okta Verify, all that good stuff. Downloading the Workday app onto your phone. I'm going to be really honest. I think for a lot of the things that we're going to cover today, the app is actually a lot more user friendly than the desktop is. So definitely want to make sure that you're getting that Workday app set up. I know with JobVite, the app was like honestly completely useless. I don't even know why we have one at all for JobVite, if anyone even used it. It was hideous and ugly. So really excited to have something that is a lot more intuitive, a lot more user friendly, but it is going to be passing through Okta. So please make sure you're getting that set up and all ready to go. So welcome. We're going to start off with recruiting. When you are on your dashboard here, the way that you're going to access all of your requisitions is if you click on the menu page and look at that, there's a recruiting tab right there. Do we think that's where we're going to go for recruiting? You're absolutely right. It is. You're going to see all of your requisitions are going to be down here under recent. For right now, I only have a sales ad, but since you guys are GMs, you should have access to your subcontractor ads. There's going to be a little bit more on there when we actually go live on the ATS next week. So to get into your rec, you're going to click on that. It's going to open you up to this beautiful page. Wow, look at this tornado. Don't worry about it. You're really not going to click on that tornado ever. It doesn't actually do a whole lot. So this is the inside of your requisition. You'll click on the candidates tab right here. This is going to pull up, you guessed it, a list of candidates. Wow, amazing. You're going to see over here the step and disposition that they're in. So this is going to be where you see your workday statuses. This is how you'll find your pipeline, anyone that's in all statuses, all active candidates. You will have the ability to filter, but I'm going to make your life even easier. And let's say we want to go ahead and screen some folks. Oh, wow, we have two people in screen. Let's see who they are. We've got Ron Burgundy and Rocky Balboa, both with approved CIs. How lovely. Now, you see over here, we're looking at an overview of the candidates. Next to these tabs, there's going to be some more tabs you can click. You'll be able to see a preview of the resume if you click on it right there. Wow, a journalist broadcasting icon. You can also very quickly get their contact information by clicking, you guessed it, contact. It's going to pull up a list of their phone numbers. It's going to pull up a list of their email. If you go into questions, you'll be able to see if this is an individual who previously worked here, if they notated that during the application process. On the overview, this is a feature that I really like. You'll be able to see if this is someone who's actually a referral. And it's not just going to tell you if it's a referral, it's going to tell you who they were referred by, what their relationship is. I think that's super cool. That's definitely a lot more of a advanced feature on Workday than it has been on JobVite. But let's go ahead and let's start doing some things with some candidates. So I really want to call Ron Burgundy. I definitely want to get this guy onto my team. He seems like it's going to be an absolute dog, absolute killer. So when you click onto your candidates, this is how you're going to navigate through doing workflow, making calls, leaving notes, etc. You'll see here that the contact information is going to be right up here on the top. Another thing that you'll be able to see is on the right-hand side over job applications. This is where you'll see who your recruiters are that are assigned to your ads. So this is how you're going to know who your main points of contact are going to be for these requisitions. And this is where you're going to see what status they're in, all that good stuff. So we gave Mr. Ron Burgundy a call. We unfortunately weren't able to get a hold of him. That's really a damn shame. I would love to hire this guy. So I need to move him into What comes after contact today approved CI? It's first contact attempt. Great job. Everyone gets a gold star. You'll click on actions, move candidate, move forward, first contact. Beautiful. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You'll get a notification that you moved the candidate into the next status. Now I'm going to go ahead and click back into that. I'm going to give him a call one more time because, as we all know, we make 3 contact attempts each. Move candidate. Second contact. Wow. Are we seeing where this is going? Fantastic. And just for shits and giggles, let's try to give him one more call. Oh no, we weren't able to get a hold of him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down here, see your activity page. This is where you're going to be leaving your notes. Anytime you see activity, this is where you're able to tag individuals. This is where we're going to be. This is the new place that notes are going to live. So I'm going to go ahead and tag my recruiter, which is me. I'm going to let her know, hey, oh, my name is not A Roach. Whoopsies a daisies. Sarah was not able to get a hold of him. Bummer. That's going to send me a notification. That's going to keep everyone in the loop on all the applications. And because we weren't able to get a hold of Mr. Ron, we are going to move him forward into decline. This is where you're going to be able to see all of your dispositions for when you're rejecting somebody. A couple of ways you can go about it. You can click in through here, see what statuses you have. This is where they're all going to be. Administrative, you probably won't use terribly often. Client rejected, client withdrew. You can also simply type it in. So I didn't get a response from this person, so I'm going to go ahead and move them into no response not considered. If you know what disposition you want to use, feel free to type it in. I think it's going to be a lot easier than trying to look for it, but if you feel like making things complicated, go right ahead and do so. Well, actually, you know what's crazy is Ron just gave me a call back and he's super interested in the position, but I just rejected him. Very similarly to JobVite, you will be able to see your rejected candidates, but you will not be able to move them out of rejected. So to access them, you need to click on inactive candidates. Workday is always going to baseline show you your active candidates, your active dispositions, et cetera, et cetera. So I see Ron Burgundy's right here and no response not considered. I'm going to click into that profile and you're never going to believe this. I'm going to go into activity and I'm going to tag my recruiter and ask her to please reinstate application because he gave me a call back and I'd like to hire him. Fantastic. So I want to keep going through my pipeline. Well, it looks like I have to keep clicking in and out, right? No, wrong. Amazing. When you're clicking into your applications, there's going to be some arrows right up here. That's how you're going to move through the applications as you're making your calls, as you're doing your screens, as you're moving people into the next workflow statuses. So I want to go ahead and give Rocky Balboa a call now. We had a great conversation. I'd love to schedule Rocky for an interview. So I am going to schedule this interview. So you're going to move the candidate forward into schedule interview. I'm going to hit OK. This is going to look very different from how you're used to. When you see this notification pop up, you want to click the schedule button. One really cool feature of Workday is that it's actually integrating with Outlook. So when you're getting your interviews scheduled, you're able to put them right on the calendar from the ATS directly. If you have anybody else that you would like to put on the interviews with you, you're able to add that. But we're going to go ahead and get Rocky locked in for a same day because we only do same days here in sales. He's going to be coming in this afternoon. I'd like to have, maybe some of my team leads on here. Let's see, my team. Oh, wow, it's going to pull up a list of everyone that I can bring into the interview. You can also type in their names right there if you want to have any additional people on the interview with you. It's going to put it on everybody's calendars. It's really cool stuff. Duration is going to be in minutes. So whether you're doing 30-minute interviews or 1-hour interviews, make sure you're putting it down like that. We're going to go ahead and say we'll interview Rocky in 30 minutes because time is money and money is power. You can also pick what type of interview this is going to be. Is it a phone interview? Is this going to be a Zoom link, which is going to be really helpful for anybody who's maybe getting ready to open up a new branch. Maybe you're working out of a different location, whatever the case is. But I'm going to go ahead and make this an in-person interview. I'm going to hit next. Now it's going to pop up with a calendar. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can either just click right on the time that gets selected, right? So we talked about doing 1 o'clock. If you have multiple people that you're looking to schedule this interview with, if you click on recommend times for me, it's going to give you options for times that everybody on that interview is available. One thing I want you to be very careful of doing is making sure that you're looking at the day. So you can see we talked about a same day. These are both for today, Thursday the 11th. If you keep scrolling down, it's going to start giving you other days that the team members are available. So if this is the route that you choose to do it, just make sure you're paying attention to make sure the date's not changing outside of what you said. However, I think it's going to be a lot easier just to simply click on the time that's available. So looks good. Today at 1 o'clock, 30-minute interview. Great. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit next. That's going to send to your Outlook calendar. It's going to look great. Everything's all good. You are able to send the emails from here. I'm going to show you another way to send the email. We're going to go ahead and click submit. Amazing. We scheduled an interview for Rocky Balboa. I'm going to go back to my requisition. The field name must have a value. Okay. I'm actually going to go back to the candidate page and then I'm going to go back to the requisition. Eventually. There we go. So how do we send interview confirmation emails, right? When you're on this page, you can go ahead and go into, we just scheduled that interview. So there's Rocky sitting there in interview. Click on the checkbox, send message. This is where you're going to look for your templates. It's going to be recruiting communications. That's going to be the only thing that you have available. And then you can go ahead and just search for your branch name. There it is. Very similarly to JobVite, when you're sending the interview confirmation emails, these are going to autofill, but the date and time that you agreed upon will not. So please make sure when you're sending that email, you're updating the date and time of the interview, checking to make sure everything looks good. We're going to hit OK. It's going to send that email right over to Rocky. Amazing. Well, it looks like we're also able to make an offer call to Willy Wonka. So one thing I want you guys to know is that extend verbal offer is your new offer call. I know it's a whole lot of words for the same thing. We are not able to change it. So for anyone that you're going to have in that pre-hire status, you'll click on verbal pre-offer, click into the candidate application, and we're going to go ahead and move this candidate into verbal offer accepted. If they do not accept the offer, you're going to click decline. Candidate withdrew. Candidate withdrawn. But we're going to go ahead and bring Willy Wonka onto the team. He's an absolute goat. I broke it because I clicked both buttons to give you guys an example. This is still the testing sandbox, so a lot of these little kinks that you guys see me working through have already been ironed out in the go live. Amazing. Well, we just finished our interview with Rocky, and you know what? He's actually a real dog, and I want to go ahead and send him a background check. So to be able to do that, I'm going to click Actions, Move Candidate, Move Forward, Background Check. Now, there's some information that we need from you guys when you move candidates into background, right? We need the start date, team lead, and the training product. I'm going to ask that you don't leave that in the comment. I'm going to ask that you leave that information in the activity. I want you guys to start training into your brains now. That activity is going to be where all the notes and everything happens. That's where you'll be able to tag Taylor and the onboarding team. So in Rocky's application, we just moved him into send background check. I'm going to go down into activity. I'm going to tag Taylor Mayhew. And I'm going to say absolute dog. Start date's going to be the start date, the team lead, the training, the product, etc. All that good stuff. This is a very basic overview on how you're going to be navigating your ATS. One thing I want to note for you guys, I touched on referrals a little bit earlier, but we are going to start requiring all referrals must apply through the career site. We're not going to be able to manually upload them for you guys anymore. This is going to make payroll a lot simpler for getting those bonuses paid out to you too, because now that the application is allowing us to directly tie referrals to the individual who referred them, this is going to be the only way that we're tracking them. Another thing I really want to ingrain in you guys is every time you have a referral apply through us to Indeed, we're paying for that. That's like paying for a self-gen. It's the most ridiculous thing. Our career site is free to use, free to apply. They're able to input who they know and how they do it. So any referrals or any walk-ins must apply through the career site. They can no longer apply through Indeed. We can no longer upload them. I'm going to take a second to go through the chat and make sure I didn't miss any questions. But you guys love to use this like it's a Twitch streaming chat. So I don't always know that there's the most useful stuff in here. If a tag is missed, does recruiting still get notified to run the background? Yes. So the tagging in activity functions a lot more similarly to notes. But what's really cool is you saw that as I was moving things through the workflow, all these tasks were popping up. It was saying up next. For those of you that were with us during the Jazz HR days, you'll know that we used to have something called workflow helpers. That's very similarly to that. So up here is where that task box is. I believe HR is going to get into that a little bit more in depth in a second here, but that's where all those notifications where you can take actions on these applications are going to pop up. We're getting the same thing. So the onboarding team is going to get that send task notification when you move them into send background. We're still going to have the same checks and balances in place for the candidate information that we need to get them onboarded. But as always, let's all work together to make everyone's lives a lot easier. And please just leave it in the notes like you already have been so good at doing. Fantastic. Any questions?
So Ronan and I do not have access to Workday via Okta.
Okay, that is not terribly surprising. I know we've been having some technical difficulties. I don't have a direct answer on what that is right now. I
Yeah, I can
know
hop in here.
I just did it.
perfect, Sarah.
Yeah, so for those of you that have been here previously in October, so all of you guys, send a ticket to IT support and let them know that you don't have that title. There were some errors in the transfer over last weekend, so this Friday we're going to do a whole new data transfer. So coming Monday morning, if you don't have access to that tile, that's when you need to be worried because that's when it should be live. But as of right now, there are a few glitches in the system.
He hears you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you, Sarah. Phil?
Yes, Sarah, you and I spoke about how we were potentially running into an issue with multiple ads as far as different recruiting. Have we gotten that figured out, or do we know what route we're going to take on that?
There is no issue. We're only able to post one ad per location moving forward for Workday. What we're able to do is we can still change the location on Indeed. So if we need to pivot to another location, we can do that, but we can only have one requisition per branch.
Can we connect on that after this then?
We sure can.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, fantastic. Any other questions you guys have? For the sake of time, I'm going to ask that you put them in the chat. I'm going to be hanging out here for the rest of the training and also taking a look at the chat. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to our friends in HR to show you all the good stuff.
All right, good afternoon, guys. My name is Ronald. I'm a generalist here working out of Austin. Mostly oversee the Evolve, a little bit of the Vanguard region. I recruited for a couple of branches on this side, so good to see some of you guys again. But we will hop right into it. We will be covering a lot of the manager things that you guys are going to be doing in Workday. I'm just going to preface here again. We are recording these trainings, so just make sure that we're staying professional and appropriate in both on-screen reactions and in the chat. And then secondly, questions, feel free to pop those in the chat. We have other HR reps on the call who are monitoring that and being able to answer questions kind of as we go along here. So let's get into it. Everyone can see my screen. We good to go? Perfect. Good deal. All right. Awesome. So this is going to be your landing page for Workday. I'm sure most of us have seen this as we've been going through training, but I'm just going to break down a couple of the common navigational tools that we'll use off here. So just starting up here at the top, this menu button that you see, it's going to do just that. It's going to bring open this hamburger menu. Out of this menu option, you'll be able to access things like the homepage, our org charts, any personal related things that you guys have. That recruitment tab is going to be there, as well as accessing items for your team. So one huge thing and a major call out in terms of Workday is you guys are no longer going to have two different Workday accounts. And Paycom, you guys have to log into your client side to do things for your team. Then you're logging into your employee account to do things for yourself. In Workday, you guys are just going to have one Workday account. All those things are going to be blended. So as leaders, you guys are going to have these options for personal as well as team. Okay. Your employees are just going to have that personal tab there. Right? Excuse me. Ooh, actually, second thing here in the menu option, it's going to be shortcuts. Shortcuts is going to be reports, items, or places in Workday that you visit frequently that you're not always going to want to go search and find the long pathway to get to. You can just add the shortcut there. So if it's something like, for example, expense reporting, if I don't always want to go find how to create the expense report, I can just add it to my shortcut menu. And then anytime I navigate to menu, shortcuts, it'll be listed there. Okay, so that is customizable. Build that however you guys see fit, what you're accessing the most, and then you'll be able to edit it using that edit function down there at the bottom. Okay, so that's going to be your menu icon. Right to the right of that's going to be your develop butterfly. This butterfly is going to take you home whenever you get lost. So however deep you are into Workday, however many pages you have clicked into, by selecting that butterfly, and it'll always be listed up there at the top, it'll bring you back to this home landing page. Over to the right, it's going to be our handy dandy search bar. This is going to be super useful for you guys, especially just now getting accustomed to Workday. You can search absolutely everything that you need to do in that search bar. Whether it's going to be employees, you're looking for a specific task to execute, a report to pull, anything that you need to look for in Workday, you can locate using that search box. To the right of that's going to be your notification icon. These notifications are going to be system alerts, system updates, personal things like if employees have to go in and they're missing a punch, it'll show as a notification there. When benefit season comes around, all those notifications are going to be populated in that icon there. It does open up a different landing page. I'll go ahead and give you guys a view of that. So then here we see we have expiring time off for this employee. We've got a notification to enter time for last week, so on and so forth. These are going to be employee-specific notifications. I'm going to use my develop butterfly, get me back to my landing page. And then over to the right of that, you're going to have my tasks. So my tasks are going to be things that have been assigned to you in Workday to complete. Whether it's you signing up on a document, whether it's the workflow of a job change has gotten back, put to you, you will be checking my tasks daily. So all the things that you need to do, you need to execute in Workday, you will locate that out of your tasks. Luckily, at the moment, I don't have too many, but you can see here, there's a manager evaluation I need to complete. Looks like there's a write-up that was inserted, and there's, it's back to me in this workflow. So it'll be up to me to get started and then go through the appropriate pages to execute that task. If you didn't want to see things that you've already done, I know some people like, oh, I swear I already submitted that job change. I promise I put that in already. Look under your archive and you can see things you've already completed. Okay, so Workday's actually keeping a running task for you on the things that you're executing in this platform. Pretty cool. You can play with the filters if you are looking to filter between specific things. Using the search bar will allow you to search for a specific task, employee name, whatever the deal is, to locate what it is that you need. All right, we're going to go back to our homepage, and then to the right of that task box, you're going to have your little person icon. That's going to be how you can access your profile. Okay, so the little person in the top right is going to be where you can do account changes for Workday, accessing your reports and documentation. More importantly, you'll be able to access your specific employee profile. So this one looks like when we are in the employee profile, that looks the same way for your employees as well and all your reps. Just kind of walk you guys through some of the pages we see here. I'm not going to click into all of this stuff, but we will kind of highlight what we see. So this first page here is just going to be your overall general summary of working here. It gives you your tenure, your location, who your manager is going to be, who you're reporting to, as well as just some general information about you working here. Next thing that we're going to have is going to be job. So under our job page, a lot of information just copied out of that summary. You'll be able to see a copy of your job description, the organization, management change, all those things of that nature in regards to your particular job. Then you have compensation. Compensation is what you'll look at to see what you are getting paid, your earned wages, pretty much. So hourly employees will be able to see their hourly wages and compensation. Salaried employees, that's where you guys will be able to see your salary, things of that nature. I'm not going to click into it, just as there is personal information in there. Benefits is going to be the same thing. That'll show you all the benefits that you have elected. I'm not going to highlight too much into that because our benefits team is going to take over after our section here, and they'll get into some of the specifics within that page.
Will they be able
And then
to
we have
check
absence.
What was it, Dan?
Like their front ends back
Will they be able to check their front ends, back ends, and such like this on here?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Sarah, do you have the answer to that?
end.
We integration at the moment. We haven't fully had it tested out just yet, so they'll be able to see their rate of pay. I don't believe they'll be able to see specific commissions as of yet.
But that's something that's being worked on, correct?
That's something we're actually looking at right now at the integration with Salesforce.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Great question. Next page we have here is going to be absence. So absence is going to be pretty much all the time that you've accrued. It's just going to be your balances. This is not where the employee or where you will go to request an absence. This is simply just to view the balances that you have. And it's pretty plain day. I won't get too much into that. And then pay. Pay is going to be where we go to actually look at our direct deposit. So you'll be able to see the accounts that you have for direct deposit. Interesting. You'll be able to add, remove the accounts, things of that nature, see all of your payment elections. So that's what that's going to be titled in here. Payment elections is where employees will go to be able to make changes to their direct deposits. Under pay is where they'll also be able to see previous checks, check listings, and all that stuff is going to be listed under that pay category. We have contact. Contact's fairly simple, just going through your contact information. You can put your emergency contact, has home address, basic stuff in that page as well. And then any personal information that the employee might put in here, name, ID, documents. And GM 101 notes is not going to be functional at this time, so we don't need to worry about that too much. That's something that'll be continuously built out as we go, as well as this performance tab here. So nothing's living in it right now, but that is something that our L&D team is working on building out. So stay tuned for that. And then the last thing is just going to be this career tab down here. Again, this is just going to be under each person's specific employee profile. So this is where the employee can go in and add things such as skills, any education that they may have, certifications they may have done, additional trainings they want entered. They'll be able to edit these fields themselves. And then when they do apply to any internal job postings, we're going to have an internal job board. It'll be able to pull those things and attach it to those applications when they're being recommended or, considered for those roles. Awesome. So that's just going to be your overall employee profile page. If you are looking to make any actions or do any changes to that, right underneath your name here at the top, you'll have that actions button. And under actions, you'll be able to do, certain things, managing your payment elections, things of that nature. Another cool thing our employees can do now, we'll get to, is they can resign on their own. So any action you need to take under your profile, you'll just do under that actions page, if not navigate to the specific page you're looking for. All right. Cool. Cool. So viewing your team, I'm going to go back to our homepage. So on this homepage here, you're going to have some quick options just up here listed at the front. Check in and check out is going to be our new verbiage for clock in and clock out. So if you guys hear us, did they check in? Did they check out? We're not asking, did they check out mentally? We're asking, did they clock in? Did they clock out? So check in and check out, just be mindful of that verbiage change, but it's a very simple process. It's like a one-click check in and okay. Checking out's the same thing. It's a one click. Are you punching out for the meal? Are you punching out for the day? And then it's going to be an okay. Okay. So nothing too difficult there. As well as on this top bar as well, you have some other options you can quickly get to, such as editing, improving your team's time, getting to your team's org chart, requesting your own absence, things of that nature you can get to from here, as well as just clicking on the particular employee name that you're looking for, because you'll see it has my employees listed already right here. Awesome. I believe I said it, but I want to make sure I reiterate it. In Workday, there's going to be multiple routes for getting to the same destination. So being able to view my team's time, I could go, accessing here, edit and approve time. I can use my search bar to find edit and approve time, or my menu option, under my team, I can go over to my time and scheduling hub. So as we start transitioning over to time and attendance, That's where we're going to actually navigate to, our time and scheduling hub. All right. Very similar to a dashboard that you would see in Paycom. This is just going to give you quick snapshots of things that you can get to. It gives you a snapshot of the people who you currently have clocked in under My Team Today checked in, the people who have a schedule, who are supposed to be here, who are currently not clocked in, as well as giving you employees who has missed a meal or break period. Okay, so makes it a little bit easy for you guys to be able to edit and keep track on you guys' time. Uh, your Canvas managers, they're in the vans. This gives them a quick snapshot. They can look at this in the app as well. It'll be super accessible for them to see exactly who they need to make time changes for. All right. And then, just some other things, time offs that are pending approval, workers approaching the time accumulator threshold. You'll be able to get to some quick pages with these options at the top. And we're actually going to get into reviewing and editing your team's time. So in order to do so, you're going to have another menu item or option here in the time and scheduling hub. So to edit and approve your team's time, fairly simple. We're just going to go to edit and approve time. On this page, you can select the dates that you're looking for. It's going to put it on a week basis. So as long as your date is included in there, it's going to throw it in there for the week. If you want to get technical and switch some of these filters, you absolutely can. But I'm just going to leave it on the default, my direct reports only. So in our edit and approve time screen, scrolling down to the bottom, this is going to be all my employees, my direct reports. What you see listed up here at the top in gray, that's going to be the schedule that they have built into Workday. So this is what they should be adhering to. Okay. What you see here under Carissa Hernandez, worked time, that would be an actual time punch. Okay. So this would be the employee punching in here, not what you see up there. So when you guys get errors and there's notifications, it's doing that against what's built into their schedule. To enter time for your employees, simply click on the box. Not very difficult. Put the time they got there. We'll say she got there at 8:30 a.m. She, left at 12:30 p.m., but she went out for her meal. I can put a comment here. She forgot. Okay. Now I have submitted this time for my employee. Now, all I did at this point was submit the time. This time has not been pulled to payroll. Payroll's not going to pay out that time because it hasn't been approved yet. So we are still responsible for approving time cards, very much so how you guys were doing in Paycom. If you're a proactive manager and you're approving your time cards like on a weekly basis, before that payroll cycle gets paid out, your employees won't be able to go and submit requests or edit the time for those days if you have already approved that time period. If that is the case, they're going to have to come to you guys directly, or if you're going to set it where they need to send you an email, text, whatever, and ask you guys to go and edit the time, so long as it hasn't been locked by payroll. Okay, but once you guys approve that time period, your employees are not going to be able to go into their own time cards and try to, submit a change into the time for that day. Okay, you guys are going to have to do that. So that's not going to change. The time frame for time cards locking doesn't change either. So Mondays at noon PST, weeks of payroll, time cards are still going to lock. Okay. Any requests that you guys submit after 10 a.m. PST on Tuesday, when time cards are locked, you're going to have to email payroll. Same thing we do for Paycom right now. When you guys don't have access to edit those time cards anymore, we reach out to payroll. But if you're reaching out to them after 10 a.m. on Tuesday, then they cannot guarantee the changes are going to be reflected in that pay cycle's paycheck. The employee may have to wait for the next pay cycle to be able to receive that pay and make those changes. So make sure you guys understand it is still your responsibility to make sure people are getting paid. That's one of the things that we don't mess with, our people's pay and our people's benefits. So we ask for you guys to be reviewing your team's times daily if you can, as much as possible daily, or at least on a weekly basis. Now, your sales reps, of course, them being commission-based, they are not going to be hourly, so they are not clocking in and out. But I'm saying that in terms of GMs who, are, helping out in terms of Canvas right now, when you guys have to pick up that slack, make sure you guys are making sure time cards are being reviewed daily, minimum, weekly basis. Cool. Awesome. Requesting time as well. So when your your team is requesting time off, you will be able to see that under this team absence calendar. So by selecting my team absence calendar, again, I'm just going to leave it as these fields in here. If I wanted to be specific, I can find a particular worker, but I'm just going to hit OK. And it should show me my direct reports. So this team absence calendar would show me anyone who has PTO submitted, and when I can expect people to be out of office. Okay. This is where we'll also be able to go to accept those changes, see the changes, do whatever you need to do, and make sure that you're caught up to date for your team's time off. So again, a little bit of a verbiage change. I know we're used to time off request. Workday is going to consider that as an absence. So you need to go submit an absence. Okay, so that'll be located in your team absence calendar. All right, that pretty much covers our time and attendance section of this training. I do recommend you guys like the edit and approve time. If you see this little bookmark section up there, you can save this report. So when you go, I believe it's going to be on your home screen, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, I apologize. In your menu option, you can go over to your saved, and then everything you have saved, it'll pop up there for you as well. There it is, edit and approve time, okay, as a favorite. So you can also customize your menu down here, adding the things that you want to see, using edit to remove things that you don't want to see in that menu option as well. Okay. All right, so on the same note of money, we're going to look at expenses really quick here. So expenses in Workday, I will 100% recommend. It is recommended. It's a lot easier to submit your expense reporting in the Workday app. Most of you guys are going to have your receipts, the photos of those already in your phone. So I recommend getting the Workday app. If you're doing some form of submitting an expense, use the app for it. It's very seamless. But I'll show you guys a quick overview of what that's going to look like here on the desktop version. So when submitting an expense report or submitting an expense, we're going to go to the task, create expense report. Okay, fairly simple here. And we're going to start going through our options. So we're creating a new expense report. You can see here my employee is Mark Johnson. If I was doing this for an employee, I can select that and change who I believe. No, I cannot do that here. I'm only doing this for myself. Excuse me. My memo, we're going to say that this is going to be food, typically a popular one. We're going to make sure the company matches my correct LLC. The day for my expense report, fairly simple. The business purpose. So typically we'll probably say we're doing a training, right? Attended a training. Office and branch. Who am I charging this expense to? We'll go ahead and charge this to Austin. And I'm going to hit OK. I just want to make sure I didn't miss something here. No, we're good. Okay. And we'll hit OK. Now that's just part one. If you see up here on the top right, I do have an error message. This says you must add a payment election for expenses before you can submit an expense report. Okay, now this is still just like, I don't know if this is a testing thing or if they're going to have to add this when they move actually into Workday, but you can add a separate payment election for expense reimbursements. So it does not have to be the same account that your direct deposit goes to. So that's why it's telling me that I have that error because I have not selected an account that I want my expense reimbursements to go through. So we're just going to brush past that for now. Okay. Then once you're in the expense report, you'll be able to add the expense line. Adding the expense line will be the specific details for this expense. Okay. So dropping my files, that's going to be my receipt. Again, my expense date. What is my item? Excuse me. Typically, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. I'll do alphabetical order. What we see per diem for food. There it is, per diem. Meals. And then with per diem, we know that we are only covering up to 3 per person. So I can just go ahead and put the quantity here and it'll automatically update my totals for me there. If you try to put more than what the company's going to cover, so I'm putting 4, knowing good and well they're only going to cover 3, and I try to submit this, now I have 2 errors. Per diem meals cannot exceed 3 meals. Okay, so it's not going to even let you submit it. You have to do the 3. Okay, it's only going to be the 3. Expense report memo is required as well as my second error. I didn't make any notes here. So I can say my food while training. Okay, and then I can be able to submit the expense. Again, it's not going to let me. I don't have the elections, but in our actual rollout, that should be ready to go. And again, it's so much easier, so much seamless doing it just in your Workday app. Okay, awesome. Beautiful. Now we're going to look at things that you guys do on a daily basis. So screens that you guys are going to see very often. So we're going to talk job changes. Going to reiterate as well, there's many ways of getting to the same place, especially when we're doing a job change. I can type in my search bar, job change. There's my task. I can initiate that from there. I can also go to the specific employee. Excuse me. And under my action item, I can initiate a job change out of job change. Okay, so many ways of getting to the same place, but we're going to go ahead and do a practice job change. So I will transfer, or I already did one for this person. Excuse me. I'm going to find somebody else. I'll do Joshua Rankin. All right, so same thing. We're going to go actions, down a job change. And we've got transfer, promote, or job change, report no-show, terminate, manage probationary periods. We're going to transfer, promote, or job change, or change job, excuse me. Once I get through here, fairly simple. You're literally walking through the steps. A lot of the questions are the same things you guys answer in Paycom. So nothing like that. Just work through it, okay? Work through it and make sure the information is accurate. So when we're doing it, why are we making the change? We'll say that this is just a transfer to a new branch. It's going to ask, do I want to use the next pay period? That just depends whether or not we are using the next pay period. It's asking who the manager is going to be after the change. Which team is this person going to be on after the change? Typically, that's going to match. And then where will this person be located after the change, selecting the appropriate branch? My information is correct. I'll go ahead and start. And now I'm starting this job change. And you can see all the pages that I'm going to get walked through to get this submitted over here on the left. So they are going for Canvas MIT, all that same stuff. And I pretty much walk them through all these pages. I'm not going to click all of them. Most of this stuff's going to autofill and auto-populate for you, so not much you have to change, but a lot you need to verify. My detail screen, same thing. Let's see here. My orgs. So making sure my LOC is listed in there correctly if they are making that LOC change. It's going to go over the compensation, so the pay for the role, and then eventually you'll have the entire summary of everything that you have done. Give this one final review, and then once you're good to go, oh, good, I love this, love that. Right before you get to hit submit, there's going to be an option if you have any supporting documentation supporting the transfer, whatever. Please upload that, of course, and then we'll submit. Okay, if you have the option to submit or save for later, if you save this for later, it will go up into your task. Okay, for you to double back to and come back and complete. So Workday will keep, hey, don't forget, you started this job change, you never finished it. Make sure you get it done. It'll be located for you up in the tasks. But we're going to say we're going to go ahead and get it submitted. And then boom, you have submitted. It even tells you who's up next. I can hit view details to go take a look into it and see what's going on. Under my details and processes, I can look at the process and determine, okay, who was this job change waiting on? Okay. And as you can see here, it should be going to, my business partner. Okay, and she has until 12/13 to get that done. And then Workday will send and the business partner the notifications, letting them know that they've been assigned this job change. They need to go in and complete it. And then we'll move through the workflow as necessary. Cool. So that's doing the job change. It's going to be the same thing for any type of transfer, um, uh, supervisor change, things of that nature. Just make sure we're being diligent and making sure that information is correct. Other thing we're going to look at is offboarding. So terminations. Employees, like I said, do have the ability to resign themselves now in Workday. Um, so I recommend the employee comes and tells you, hey, yeah, this isn't working for me. I'm going to resign. I'm giving my notice. I would recommend for them to go into Workday and under their own account that they'll have. I'm going to get to this person's. Under their actions, the only job change that they can do for themselves would be to resign. Okay. So their 2 weeks notice, they can put that there. Their whatever they're going to do, they can resign. And that way we're all on the same page about our resignation reasons or reasons for separation. Okay. But if they are not doing it themselves and you guys need to go and terminate the employee, you can do it out of their actions item button up there. You'll have the option to terminate. You can literally just start searching terminate employee. That's my first task there. And it's going to ask you who. I can look under my team, and we're going to fire Nathaniel Elliott. And then I'm walking through my termination. So under my reasons here, that's going to be your or primary reason is going to be your involuntary or voluntary. We're going to go ahead and call this one a voluntary for job abandonment. Secondary reasons typically won't have one for the most part. It's like the same stuff, so don't worry about it. Notice it's not a required field. We'll go down to our details. So the date of termination, we'll say is 12/11. If it's job abandonment, last day work would be what, 3 days before this? So 1, 2, 3, I'll probably say the 7th, and they've abandoned these last 3 days. Pay through date is going to be vital for the states who are check in hand. Or if we're doing like that paid suspension period, if I'm terminating them on 12, or excuse me, their last day of work was 12/7, but I'm terminating them on 12/11, then I'll probably set this for the day that the check's going to be arriving at the branch. Okay. And that way we're paying them up to that. So we're making sure that check's in hand by the time we are processing term. Did I miss something? Cool. And then resignation date would be if they did give you some form of notice. They put in the 2 weeks, then you can put in here the date that they gave you their notice. Job abandonment, I'm sure you're not going to get notice. Oh, damn. We'll leave that for now. All right. Position details, you should not need to mess with this. Unless otherwise told by your HR rep, we don't want to mess with closing the positions and messing with its availability for overlap. So we're just going to leave that alone. And then I love this section right here. Documentation. Workday is not going to let you submit a termination without documentation. Okay, you will not be able to submit a termination without documentation. So the text screenshots, the email thread, any supporting documentation that you may have, we need to make sure that we're getting that uploaded to the termination while we're submitting. Well, are they going to let me? Yeah. So you see, it won't even let me, my error. Please upload evidence to support this termination. We'll say for right now, I'll just throw a random file in there just for us to continue. It'll ask me for a description. I'll probably say something like 2-week notice, if that's what it is. Category. See, I haven't done all this yet. I'm just going to say right example, just for now, for the sake of time. Now I can submit this term. Okay, so that is only part one of your termination. You know, it's probably like, wow, there's so many less questions that we have to answer in Workday. No, it's a lie. It's right here in this complete questionnaire. Okay, so you've only done step 1 of the termination. Up to this point, that employee is still active and employed with us. Your HR rep has not received the termination yet. Until you complete this questionnaire, which also will go into your task, if we assign to you as a task, the termination is not complete. It's not submitted. So I need to complete the questionnaire. And then in completing the questionnaire, these are going to be the questions that you guys are more familiar with. Did the employee provide the notice of intent to resign? If so, how many? I'm going to put no because they didn't. If you put yes, this is a two-part question. It's if so, how many? We should have a time period. Okay. Yes, 2 days. For job abandonment, it's going to be no. Please provide a brief description for a reason of leaving, job abandonment. And then even here for job abandonment, please provide the dates the employee missed. Just making something up right now. Okay. And then are we verifying if they're hourly? We're verifying the time card. I'm going to say, yes, I have. Did I acknowledge the final check's not going to the branch? Yes. And then you're going to start selecting what equipment they've returned. I'm going to say no company property given. If there's sales, if they return their sales kit, I'm going to say not in a sales role. And the last thing, we verified that employee has submitted all business-related expenses for reimbursement. I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Now that I have my questionnaire completed, you can see here, my up next is the HR partner. Now this employee has been terminated, okay? Or the termination has been initiated, and it'll go through its workflow for us to be able to get them offboarded, okay? But terminations are going to be a two-part. You have to start that termination process, and then you must complete the questionnaire for the employee to be terminated out. Another cool thing is if the employee already has an active task running. So let's say, for example, the employee we just terminated has a pending job transfer, and you currently have a transfer request in for them. Workday is not going to let you submit a termination for that employee because those are two conflicting tasks. How can we transfer somebody and be terminating that same person? So the owner of that task is going to have to go close it out, delete that request, and then submit the termination. Okay? Workday is not going to let you have pending tasks that conflict. Cool. Just a couple last things I just want to highlight, and I think I missed it in the beginning. If you guys do need to access your org chart, you can see here, there's the My Org Chart. You can also get Team Org Chart. You can go under, not in there, excuse me. I don't know how to say it. You can search My Org Chart. Okay. There is a difference between the org charts if you just search org chart. Org chart is going to be the entire company org chart. Is going to start at Donnie. You're going to have to find your way to where you need to be. My org chart takes you directly to where you are for your team. Okay. And then up to the right, you can see the pathway of how you got there. You can click those names to get back, so on and so forth. And even from here, under your org chart, I can take action. So if I wanted to terminate Joshua Rankin from here, I have those same options that we saw in the employee profile. Transfer, terminate, do whatever it is that I need to do. Multiple routes, same destination. Okay. That's pretty much all I have, you guys. I do want to say that there's not going to be an Ask Here section in Workday. So employees are going to have to just email Devella at HR or hr@devella.us if they do have questions, comments, or concerns relating to their employee journey. But other than that, we are here. We are a resource for you guys as we migrate to this. A couple reminders. Odd cycles are going to go live starting Monday. So our odd LOCs on the 15th, we are in Workday. We are clocking in, checking out in Workday. And on the 22nd of December, that's when the even LOCs will be live in Workday. So I know you guys have seen a lot of reminders this week about checklists and documents getting completed. As this is our final week in Paycom, it's really important for us to get all that stuff buttoned up, put a bow on it so that they can do their migration this week, as we'll be live on Monday. I definitely appreciate you guys. That's all I've got for this training. We're going to hand it on over to our benefits team.
Hi, team. Happy Thursday. That was a handful of information there. My name is Denise Rincon. I am your benefits specialist and leave administrator. I will be touching on benefits and then on leave of absence later on. Regarding the topic of benefits, I just wanted to reiterate that please note that new hire employee benefits are available to all full-time employees, W-2 employees. New hires become eligible for benefits on the first day of the month following 60 days of employment. And also 401k plans are available to all full-time employees who are at least 18 years of age and have completed 90 days of employment. The reason why I reiterated that is to you guys is because typically employees come to you and like, hey, when do my benefits start? I just wanted you to know because have been receiving a lot of emails from employees like, hey, I thought it was this time. I thought it was that time. So just as reference. Now, I do want to share a video with you from our benefits assistant on how the new hire will see their benefit eligibility through Workday. So with that being said, please let me know if you can hear my video or the video.
No. I'm about to share with sound.
Hi team, this is to run you through and demonstrate the new hire benefit enrollment process. Here we're at the employee's dashboard. They will be getting a notification up in the My Task section as a task in the inbox where they can go in and it'll say to enroll and they can click Let's Get Started. When they get started, this will bring them to view all of the benefits that Dibella has to offer. They can go into their medical by clicking Enroll. Here, they'll go in and select a plan. I'd already pre-selected the gold plan, but again, they can go in before they submit by pressing select. We can click confirm and continue. This section shows that the employee is enrolling in employee-only coverage. If they do want to add children or family, they would press add new dependent. They can also click and add them as a beneficiary as well. They'll click OK. Heading over to the dependents, they'll be inputting all their information in for the dependent. They must fill out all of the asterisk in red. Additionally, they will need a social security number or any dependents being enrolled onto the plan. For now, we're just going to keep it as employee only. We will confirm and save. Again, press save. Now the employee is enrolled in the gold medical plan. He can do the same by going into dental, vision, enroll in accident insurance. If an employee is enrolling in the silver level account, they can also sign up for their health savings account here by clicking enroll. 25K life insurance is given to employees for free by Dibella. They do need to go into this tab and click their beneficiary and add their beneficiary to the insurance plan. It will not let them submit and continue until they have done so. This will also show all of the voluntary life insurances for self, spouse, and child, as well as our short-term and long-term disability. We have our additional benefits here at the bottom for employees to review, the Employee Assistance Program, pets insurance, and our Touch Care Health Concierge service. Once they go through, I'm going to click here before we move forward to add a beneficiary to this plan. So we will confirm and continue. We're going to have the employee add the beneficiary here. We're going to click Add New Beneficiary. Add New Beneficiary and continue. We'll just make a fake account here. Great. We'll press, it will need additional information here as the address is required. So we'll put in a fake account. Then we need to make sure that the employee puts in the total percentage amount and press save. Now the beneficiary is added to the basic life insurance. We can now click review and sign. Here on this page, the employee can see all of his elections as he's enrolled in. It will also show the employee the coverage begin date here. So again, employees can enroll as soon as they get their Workday account on their first day of hire. But again, they do not begin until 60 days of full-time active employment with us. So this begin date is very crucial, that is when the employee's benefits will become active. Up here, we'll go all the way down. We'll see everything that was waived, and it will show the company's contribution to their insurance as well as their employee costs. Here they'll need to press accept and submit. Here they can view their 2025 benefit statement, again, showing all of the enrollment and coverages that the employee enrolled in. They can save it as a PDF as well, or they can print directly. And that will conclude how an employee can enroll in their benefits.
Perfect. Alrighty, thank you for sitting through that. Let me log into Workday because there's two more things that I need to show you guys regarding qualifying events. Perfect. So I'm going to proxy in as an employee. In this instance, for this example, it's going to be Minnie Mouse. Okay, so let's say your new hire or your employee wants to change their benefits because of a life event. A life event would be marriage, divorce, having a new baby, loss or gain of other coverage. Let's say Minnie had a baby and she wants to change her coverage level. So she's going to go to the menu button, and under benefits and pay, she will click benefits, and then she'll see the change benefits button here. We'll click there. There's going to be instructions on how to submit everything appropriately, but she will have to select the reason. In this case, like I mentioned, birth of a child, and then the benefit event date. The benefit event is when was the child born? That's the event date. So let's say it's Monday. The system is telling Minnie Mouse that she will have until 1/6/2026 to elect her, or I'm sorry, to submit her qualifying event request. Because per IRS and company policy, any life event, for life events, you have 30 days to submit any qualifying events. And then for the benefits offered, it's pretty much telling her that she can add the dependent to all these benefits that are included here. With that said, Minnie Mouse will have to submit supporting documentation with her request, and she will drop those files here. Those files could be a birth certificate proving that she had the baby on that 12/8 date. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that. All right. One last thing on benefit side is I'm going to go back to the homepage so you can see how to navigate the site. But if an employee comes to you and says, hey, what benefits do we offer? Everything is housed in here. They would have to log into their profile under menu. They will have to click on benefits and pay. And then the suggested links are the employee's resources for benefits. We have a microsite link, which shows you pretty much our benefits guide in website form. So enrollment, eligibility, your health, medical, it goes through the medical coverages that we offer, the bronze, silver, and gold, what it covers. It's exactly like the benefits guide. So they can click around and get familiar with this. And we also have the benefits guide listed here, which will open up to a PDF where you can print or download. Alrighty, so that will conclude the benefits portion. Now moving forward or moving over to the leave of absence, I will walk you through the required steps to sign for a leave of absence. Again, if an employee, Minnie Mouse, says, hey, I need 30 days of a leave for personal reasons, whatnot, Minnie Mouse will go through the menu button. Under personal, she can go ahead and click manage absence, and this calendar will pop up. What she needs to do is she needs to elect the days that she's requesting for that personal leave of absence. In this case, December 15th through January 9th. Or actually, I left that child bonding there. Sorry. So let's do December 15th through December 28th. So request absence. And she's going to have to click on the leave of absence. request. Now, please note that if an employee is eligible to take FMLA leave, the FMLA leave option will pop up here. In this event, Minnie Mouse doesn't have FMLA available to her, so she will have to click on personal leave. Okay, and then continue. Right, and then this is going to give her an overview of what she just selected on the calendar. Again, a personal leave. Last day of work will be 12/12, with the first day of her absence being 12/15, and then the estimated last day of the absence. Everything looks good. Minnie will go ahead and click submit, and then that's going to take it over to the absence partner. So I'm going to proxy in, oh, I'm sorry, stop proxy as Minnie, so it can take me to my absence calendar, or I mean, website. Okay, perfect. So under task, I will see Minnie Mouse's request for a personal leave for those dates. Everything checks out. I'm going to go ahead and approve it. Now I'm going to proxy in as a manager so you can see what it's going to look like on your guys' end. Okay, Walter Hartzell is Minnie Mouse's manager, so this is his profile. To view the personal leave request, he's going to have to click on the notifications bell. And then right here, absence request for Minnie Mouse. The manager will click on the hyperlink here, and you guys are going to be able to see who requested what. So Minnie Mouse, again, last day of work, the first day of the absence, and the estimated last day of her absence for personal leave. This is very crucial for you guys to check on a daily basis because this is how you guys are getting notified that the employee is going to be out for a certain amount of days. So you want to make sure you're checking daily so you can plan coverage for the employee's absence. Another thing that I didn't show you earlier is when Minnie Mouse requested her personal leave of absence, she's also going to have to submit any PTO that she has available concurrently with the personal leave of absence that she requested. And that's going to be sent out to you guys so for approval. So in that case, Walter would have to go to My Tasks. He will see Minnie Mouse's request form and then review it and approve it. Okay. Another thing that Walter can do, he can click on the menu, go to the Manage Absence, and then switch the worker to this employee, so it's Minnie Mouse. And he will have an overview of the requested time that she submitted. Okay. That will summarize my FMLA personal leave request. Do you guys have any questions on this topic? Alrighty, perfect. So if no questions, then managers, team leads, do you guys have anything else to add before we exit?
Yes, I did. I wanted to go over this with you guys really quickly. Can you all see my screen? I'm going to be like less than 5 minutes. We're good? Cool. Write-ups, disciplinary action, progressive disciplinary action. Doing those in Workday, multiple ways to get to it. Again, you guys, you can find the employee, go to that the action item that they have by their name. Write-ups are going to be housed under talent, and that's going to be start disciplinary action listed down there. You can also just literally type start disciplinary action. There's your task. I recommend saving this as a shortcut because that's going to be one that we use pretty frequently. Fairly simple. I'm going to put the employee's name in here. We're going to write up Isaiah. You'll have your templates. You have memos of conversations, your verbal, written one, final, whatever the deal is. We're going to say we're going to give them a verbal warning. The reason we cannot get rid of this field, you're going to have to select the appropriate country. So reasons for employees country, United States of America, and that'll bring you through to your regular, reasons that you guys know for write-ups. Your attendance, conduct, development, performance. We're going to say this is an attendance write-up for tardiness. Okay. Related disciplinary actions. I want to say this is a field that you can select if they had some previous ones you wanted attached to this write-up, but we're not going to get into too much of that right now. We'll look at the period start dates. We're writing about today. If we wanted to check back in on this like next week, you can set that date. But I'm just going to say my start and end date, I'm administering and doing this write-up all in the same day. I'm going to submit. Much like a termination, you haven't done the write-up, you haven't done anything, you've just initiated it. So you need to finish it by selecting this open option under Start Disciplinary Action Confirmation. That's where you'll put all, the meat and potatoes of this disciplinary documentation. We're going to get started and we're going to work through our prompts best way we know how. Description of incident, rep was tardy, 15 minutes, did not communicate with leadership, whatever the deal was. Plans for improvement. Let's work together to be better. Sorry, I know my typing is shite right now. Excuse me, I feel like I'm missing a page here. And then pretty much that's that. I can save it if I'm not ready to submit this right now, or we can go ahead next. And it's going to let us review our write-up. Okay. This is reviewing the write-up. So then I just want to make sure one more good thing, everything looks good, and then now I can go ahead and submit. As you see, it's going to go up next, my HR business partner, for us to review, and it'll kick back over to you guys, so on and so forth. But that's exactly how we are going to do disciplinary documentation. I just want to make sure I covered that. Thanks. We do have, Install Recruiting on the line is going to take over for these last few minutes of the call to kind of go over what they need to with you guys. So you guys are doing a fantastic job. Just stay locked in for me.
All right, guys, we're almost done. Sorry about even more onto your plate that I'm going to add here. So we're going to go over Workday, basically, right? When it comes to Workday for install recruiting, let me get this screen shared with you guys. It's going to be pretty straightforward. So everyone can see that screen. Can I get some thumbs up? We're good. Yeah, nods. Anyone? Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Denise. Okay, so you can go to your home screen right here. Maybe. Doesn't that work great? Huh? Hang on, let's see what's going on here. We might have a connectivity issue. Hang on, guys. Let me get this pulled back up. Bear with me. I apologize. We'll get this up and going again. I don't know why it's logging us out, but so very similar to when you guys went over the other type of recruiting, where we're going to go over to that recruiting tab on the left-hand side. Just getting this Workday stuff pulled up really quick. Apologies for the delay. There we go. Okay, now we have it. So let me go ahead and share that with you guys again. Apparently Workday wanted to lock me out. Okay, so everyone can see that now and we're good to go. So sorry about that delay here. So if we go to our home screen here, easy way to get there is that little butterfly in the corner. We're going to go over to that left-hand side, click the drop-down menu right here. We're going to go down to recruiting. Each branch should have the requisition that aligns to their branch, right? So for you, it's going to say subcontractor and then their branch. So if I am Brianna, I'm going to click on Burlington, Vermont, right? Here you can see that beautiful tunnel that they showed you earlier, right? It shows you all the statuses of everyone. If you go ahead and click here into your candidates, It's going to pull up your current candidates that you have. So for instance, right now we have one in screen, one in interview. Screen is going to be all of your contact today people for install recruiting. So those are the people you need to work out to. Also in the screen section will be first contact, second contact, just like in JobVite. We're going to go ahead and click into Mike Tyson here. When we look at Mike Tyson, you can see all of his information, what languages he speaks, all that kind of stuff. You can scroll down to see the activity. This is where we'll keep our notes on how our screening went with them, you know, how many crews, all that kind of stuff. You can also access activity on the left-hand side here by clicking that activity button. As you scroll down, this is where we want you to add notes. So at your install recruiter that you currently have, put a note in there about, you know, how many times have you reached out? Have you left a voicemail? Did you send a text? All that kind of stuff. Go back up to the summary area. Let's say you've decided to give Mike Tyson a call here. You're going to click this actions button in this active job applications, not this one over here, this one right here. Okay. So click the actions button. We're going to move candidate. You're then going to click decline if you want to decline this candidate. For install recruiting, there's a few that are going to apply here. You're going to have administrative, which will show you invalid product. Candidate withdrew, so no response not considered. Maybe they came in and said they're not interested in signing with you. Client rejected. You're going to do not qualified. Okay. And then move forward. We're going to go ahead and click select one. They're currently in contact today status. Let's say you got a hold of them. You're going to schedule that interview with them. So we're going to click schedule interview, click OK. Now it's going to ask you to schedule that interview. Nice thing about Workday is that it is linked to your Outlook calendar. So it's going to allow you to not have to go back and forth as much, right? So when we click on this date right here, let's say we're scheduling Mike Tyson to come in today. We scroll on and down, we see Brianna Castro is going to interview him. She's got a 45-minute period to do it. Over here, you're going to see that you can leave notes, right? Like maybe you're going to put a little note in there for yourself about who this candidate is. Go ahead and scroll down, click the next button. You have the option to click schedule. If you click this, it's not going to cross-reference with your Outlook schedule. So we say do recommended times for me instead, so that way it can check your availability. Looks like she has an availability 10 to 10:45. Clearly that already happened. This is what we're going to click here. Click OK. It's going to show on her schedule right here, if you guys can see that. We're then going to click the next button. Great. So she's got him scheduled on there. One thing to note is that when you go to click on this stuff, it's going to send this over to the contractor because they've made that Workday account. So unless you don't want to send an email, I recommend sending a reminder email so they know when to come in so you don't get a no call, no show situation. We're then going to click submit. And this has now been sent over. It's then going to prompt you to either go back to the requisition here so that you can look at more candidates, or you have the option to go back into Mike Tyson. For time's sake, we're going to go right back into Mike Tyson. You guys met with him, you interviewed him, you thought he was great, ready to install, right? Okay, great. So I got my pricing sheet. I'm going to go down and I'm going to put a note in there and I'm going to tag my install recruiter in there so that way they know that I have that pricing sheet, right? So I'm going to do @1 Gresham. Should pull up people here. Here we go. We put him in there. Got pricing. I'm sending that. We're then going to go up into attachments. You have a resume cover area. This is not where we're putting that attachment. Okay. So when you attach the pricing sheet, I want you to scroll down into other documents, click add, select a file. I'm then going to select this application here, or not application, sign pricing, right? You got to put a category. We're going to get this fixed for you guys so that it says pricing sheet. For now, just pick a category. We don't care which one, just pick one, okay? That's the only way you can save it. So then click OK. Your pricing sheet has now been uploaded. We're going to go to summary. Brings us back to that homepage for the applicant, right? Click actions, move candidate like we did before. Moving forward, or putting them into signing pricing sheet. Okay. Once you've done this, it's going to prompt you to schedule again. Go ahead and ignore that. You don't need to schedule another interview with them. That's going to put it into the hands of Install Recruiting. Tomorrow, you guys should all have your requisitions live for you onto Workday, where it should pop up if you were to log in while they're working on doing that data transfer from JobVite over to Workday. Additionally, if you are getting an emailed candidate, say we headhunt someone for your branch, they're not going to be in Workday. So you're going to want to submit your pricing sheet using the normal processes of emailing it over. Okay? All right. So that is all I've got for you guys. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to email me and we can set up a meeting to go over it in a little more detail. Okay?
Okay,
Nice.
amazing. Sounds like that's all we have on the Workday side of things. Just a quick reminder for anyone that is on the odd cycle, you are going to start clocking in and out, doing all your Paycom things that you would typically do on Workday starting on Monday. Even cycle will go the following Monday. All things recruiting is happening Monday. So regardless of whether or not your Paycom duties are shifting to Workday or not, JobVite Access is going away end of day Friday. With that being said, I mentioned this in the chat, but I want to really reiterate it. We do have a YouTube channel that has bite-sized bits and pieces for you guys to watch that has a lot of what we covered, some more additional, more nuanced things. Really appreciate you guys letting us take the time today. I know this was a lot, but it's going to be a really simplified system. It's a one-stop shop for absolutely everything. It's going to make onboarding easier, offboarding easier, basically a lot of functionalities of your job. We don't have to worry about which application goes what and to where and all that good stuff. So, Kyle.
With merging over from JobVite, is that going to mess up any background checks that we're sending or anything?
Nope, because we still track those externally on the anticipated hire list. So don't worry about what you have going on in your pipelines. Let us worry about that. We have a couple of things that we're doing to try to make the transition as smooth as possible, but we are getting all the requisitions live today and tomorrow, so that way we get a candidate pool. So come next week, you guys will have folks to work with. But don't worry about your backgrounds. Anyone that's in Paycom onboarding, any of that, we're not going to lose them when we switch over. Any other questions for any of the, I can't think of the word, for HR, benefits, recruiting, payroll, any questions regarding anything? Fantastic. That's all we have. We'll let you guys get back to it. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for your time and go out there and kill it. We'll see you on Workday.
Thank you. Thank you.